You may not know this about Trish, but oftentimes she's running a little bit late when heading to the Explore Tulsa studio to do the show.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
The way I saw you screaming across the parking lot with your little car made me think, you might have a future in drag racing.
I don't drive that fast.
You kidding me? If there was a Starbucks at the end of every quarter mile, you'd win every time.
Why don't we just visit with a real drag racer? Paul Schultz is the driver and owner of the Spirit of Tulsa race team.
And when it comes to going fast, nobody tells it better than Paul.
It's like an elephant sitting on you. I mean, you feel the G-forces, and it just holds you back in the seat completely till you step off of it. You can't raise your hands up, you can't do anything. Hit the throttle, you're gone. Technically what they call this is a nostalgia front motor top fuel car, and it's based relatively off cars that ran back in the 60s. The motor is a facsimile of a Chrysler Hemi, 392 cubic inches. It's basically an updated version of a 392, and it's a complete billet aluminum block. And then they put steel sleeves in it. We put aluminum rods in it, aluminum billet heads, aluminum billet rods, and everything else that needs to go inside to withstand all the stresses that go on inside the engine. It makes about 4,000 horsepower. I've always tinkered with cars, motors, didn't matter what they were, lawnmowers, motorcycles, tractors, anything, that I could take apart, put back together. Well, the first car I got was a 50 Ford two-door sedan, and I had it running before I even had my driver's license. About 1981, I made my first pass in a street-driven Camaro that I had. Once I heard a fuel motor run, a nitromethane fuel motor, blown and injected, I've just been drawn to it like music. And there's nothing like it at all. This car has run 393, 3.93 seconds, 203 at half track. It's went 5.1 seconds, 235 to 1,000 feet. Well, this lap that we just ran, we burned a little over 5 gallons, and it's $28 a gallon for fuel. So typically we'll burn 5 to 7 gallons, depending on how slow I back up from the burnout and that type of stuff. Well, the best asset a driver can have is the feel for the chassis, that you feel what's going on around you, because there's so much motor noise and so many other things going on that if you don't have a feel for the car, it's going to create problems. Well, it makes you feel that all your hard work, all the hours that nobody knows about after work and into the wee hours of the morning and weekends and holidays and everything that you spend working on stuff is actually, paying off. Because if it doesn't pay off, if all you do is fight problems, that is a problem. Mentally take a toll on you. I like the competition, yeah, there's no doubt about it. When you make a good clean run and the car goes zinging down through there and it's just as smooth as glass, and you're accelerating at that type of G-force, yeah, there's nothing, you can't explain it to anybody. They'd have to do it themselves. But all I can say is when you hit the throttle, you better be ready.